Why hide your skin if you can help heal your skin from within? With Dupixent, adults saw long-lasting, clearer skin and significantly less itch. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. Talk to your doctor about Dupixent.
Make sure to catch Bobby and the rest of the Fab Five on the upcoming season of Queer Eye Texas. That's coming real soon.
And good luck at the primetime Emmys, too. And thanks for being here and hanging out with us. This has been a lot of fun.
Laugh all
It
day.
has been my pleasure.
So good, so good. We're going to leave you now with our Paw Patrol.
Happening now.
Hundreds of migrants from the border are passing through the San Antonio airport every day. One councilman's concerns, though, got some pointed rebukes from his colleagues.
The nation's capital threatened once again with a domestic terrorist. We'll have more on the investigation into the bomb threat on Capitol Hill and who authorities have in custody now. Next.
August heat and humidity are in full control as we approach the upcoming weekend. Your latest forecast coming up. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, the Texas Education Agency updating its guidance today to now require school districts to notify teachers, students, staff, and students' families when someone tests positive for COVID-19 in a classroom, extracurricular activity, or after-school program.
A district still required to also notify the local health department. Mask requirements not part of the TEA's new guidance, which was released today. You can read more about the update on KSAT.com.
And the San Antonio Independent School District and its superintendent, Pedro Martinez, now being sued by the state of Texas over its vaccine mandate.
Yeah, that lawsuit filed today by State Attorney General Ken Paxton says SAISD's decision to require staff to be vaccinated violates state law. The lawsuit says in part, quote, San Antonio ISD and Superintendent Martinez must recognize the fact that they are not above the law, end quote. The state is seeking an injunction to prevent the district from enforcing that vaccine mandate, which goes into effect October 15th. We've reached out to SAISD for a comment and haven't heard back yet. Northeast ISD holding an emergency board meeting tonight to discuss its own response to keeping kids safe in school. The board will discuss increasing cases that they're seeing and the possibility of a mask mandate in its own schools and facilities. It's at 5:30 at the NEISD boardroom at 8961 Tesoro Drive. We're following their decisions closely. We'll have an update as soon as we get more information.
In what has been a new surge of asylum seekers, the city of San Antonio says nearly 30,000 migrants have now passed through San Antonio since April. They were loaded up on buses on the border after being processed and then sent along their way to destinations all around the U.S.
As Garrett Berger explains, one councilman's concerns about what they could be bringing with them, bringing some sharp rebukes from colleagues.
With hundreds of migrants passing through the San Antonio airport every day, District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry lamented today that they aren't required to be tested for COVID-19.
I don't understand why the federal government isn't doing it, number one, but if they're not doing it, why can't we do that to make sure that we're not continuing to spread this disease across the country?
Perry's comments came as the council discussed a contract with Catholic Charities to help care for migrants who come through the airport. City staff say most of the migrants move on quickly, maybe staying one night before flying out. And they have the same rights as other airport customers and cannot be forced to take a test.
A lot of our nonprofits are testing those individuals. And so we feel that a majority of them coming are tested, but there are no testing mandates.
And some of Perry's fellow council members took offense to his line of questioning.
I believe that calling this item out for discussion is calling it out because the people who are receiving these services are people of color and because they have a different national origin than some of the people sitting on this dais.
The rhetoric characterizing immigrants, migrants, or refugees as disease or virus carriers is very dangerous.
Well, Councilman McKee Rodriguez pointed out there's a danger to the migrants passing through San Antonio, too.
It's not people bringing in diseases here. We have the disease. We have the virus here.
Perry denied his concerns had anything to do with race and ultimately joined the rest of the council in passing the contract. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
In New at 5, we've learned the name of a 56-year-old man killed in a carjacking over the weekend. He's been identified as Mario Renteria. San Antonio police say he died Sunday while he was changing a tire at a Texaco gas station in the 2400 block of Palo Alto Road. The suspect, 36-year-old Jose Gonzalez, is accused of jumping into the passenger seat of the vehicle and putting it into reverse. SAPD says when Renteria walked to the passenger side, Gonzalez hit the gas, turned the vehicle in his direction, killing him. Gonzalez now faces several charges, including one of murder.
We're still working to learn the name of a bicyclist who was killed by a driver this morning. San Antonio police say the victim and her boyfriend were riding bikes near Wurzbach Parkway and Wiedner Road. They crossed against a traffic light, and a driver who was taking his kids to school could not stop in time. The woman died on impact, and while the driver stayed at the scene, things then took a turn.
The boyfriend that was following behind her on another bike pulled out a machete on the driver.
Police say a witness who saw what was happening then pulled out a gun to defuse the situation. Investigators arrived shortly afterward. The driver is not expected to face any charges.
An Eastside sports bar won't be able to sell alcohol for the next 90 days after 3 people were fatally shot over the weekend. The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission is investigating whether the policies or practices at the Boom Boom Sports Bar on South New Braunfels played a role in the Sunday morning shooting.
Here's what we know. A fight started inside the bar and then things escalated to outside of the bar. 3 people were shot and killed. 34-year-old Daniel Berrigan charged with 3 counts of capital murder.
A man rescued from the San Antonio River after he waded through water in search of the perfect fishing spot. There's a problem with that, though. He was pulled from an area near I-37 and Loop 1604. San Antonio police say 2 men left their group last night, and while wading in the dark, they got lost.
They were fishing, actually. They got too close to the water and the current took them. And then they fought, they struggled, they fought and got tired. Hopefully he learned his lesson, but I mean, it was scary. It was a scary moment, though.
One man cut his foot along the way. He was taken to the hospital to have it bandaged. No one else was hurt.
A man in custody after hours of negotiation with U.S. Capitol Police. That suspect, who claimed he had explosives, sat inside his parked truck for hours outside of that building.
The threat prompting evacuations near the scene on Capitol Hill. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze has the latest.
After hours of negotiations with police, a suspect claiming he had explosives in his parked truck near the U.S. Capitol is now in custody.
He gave up and did not resist, and our folks were able to take him into custody without incident.
The suspect has been identified as Floyd Ray Roseberry from North Carolina.
We do know that Mr. Roseberry has had some losses of family. In his, I believe his mother recently passed away. And we spoke with members of his family, and there were other issues that he was dealing with.
Roseberry's black pickup truck was parked for several hours outside the Library of Congress, prompting evacuations at that building, as well as the U.S. Supreme Court and several other buildings on Capitol Hill. Both the House and Senate are in recess, but around 10 a.m., some congressional staffers were alerted to remain calm and relocate to other buildings through underground tunnels. Law enforcement sources say they're now focusing on how to safely process Roseberry's vehicle to determine if it contained explosives.
And it's an active scene that we're trying to render safe.
Authorities were also investigating a video allegedly posted to Facebook by Roseberry during the standoff. Near the scene this afternoon, a heavily armored police presence. Metropolitan Police Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team on the grounds. The nation's capital once again on alert amid heightened domestic terror threats.
Now, police have yet to reveal a motive. They say they're investigating Roseberry's whereabouts before he arrived here today. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
As COVID cases continue to rise across the country, the CDC and White House now recommending a 3rd vaccine booster shot for adults over the age of 18. The recommendations come as the battle over mask mandates continues in some hot spots where the Delta variant is surging. ABC's Dan Lieberman has the latest.
In Louisiana, where more than 3,000 patients are now hospitalized with COVID, the highest in the nation, some unmasked parents still protesting against mask mandates at a state school board meeting, deciding whether to follow the governor's statewide mask mandate. This as 39-year-old Jessica Cooper writes a goodbye note to her 11-year-old daughter from a Baton Rouge hospital, where she and nearly 200 other infected patients are critically ill, most unvaccinated.
I done prayed, made my peace with God. If I don't make it, just know that you will always be surrounded by love.
The White House now taking aim at southern state governors who oppose mask mandates in schools, ordering the Department of Education to use all tools, including legal action, to ensure student safety in the classroom. Counties in Florida and Texas continuing to push back against their governors, issuing their own mask mandates, overriding some vocal parents.
I have no problem if you wear your mask, and if you want to stay home because you're scared, please do so. That is your right and your choice, and I would like the same respect for my child.
I would say personal choice ends when public health begins.
As the battle over masks continue, the White House preparing to roll out booster shots of the COVID vaccine starting September 20th, with a third shot already available for people with compromised immune systems, like 28-year-old Christine Smith.
The CDC and FDA recommended it on Friday, and I went and got my booster on Sunday.
The booster shots for adults over 18 will be available for free with no insurance or ID required starting September 20th. President Biden telling ABC News it will make people safer for longer and help end the pandemic faster. Dan Lieberman, ABC News, New York.
So we know about booster recommendations for Moderna and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines, but what if you got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? Do you need a booster then? The U.S. Surgeon General says a J&J booster will likely be needed. He says right now data is still being gathered. We should know more in the coming weeks.
Well, HOT is the word of the day, and it's going to be the word of the day for the next several days. Checking in with our weather watchers this afternoon, we've got temperatures mid to upper 90s for the most part, low 90s across parts of the hill country, but humidity is high across the board. 95 at Canyon Lake this afternoon, 96 in Universal City. It is going to stay very warm and muggy this evening. No chance of rain. Thankfully, really our silver lining here, not just today, but for the next few days, is that we will have a decent breeze in place. Winds out of the south-southeast this evening at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Heat will continue to be the big story all the way through the upcoming weekend, but I've also got a tropics update for you that'll be along here in just a few minutes. Now for a check of what's going on out there on the roadways, maybe a little slow down there on 410. Let's take it over to Samuel King. Samuel.
Yeah, slowdowns in 410. Katie, slowdowns also on I-35 downtown. This is the view from 35 and Main, where we're seeing some slowdowns. Also going to see some issues as you head very close to downtown. This is I-10 coming in. We had a crash there earlier, but that seems to be clearing up at the moment. The crash, that is, but the delays are still there. 26 minutes coming in from Bernie to downtown. Once you get inside, Loop 1604, 16 minutes. Also taking a look on I-10 south of downtown, basically, or toward 35. We're seeing heavier delays, 27 minutes now from Loop 410 inbound to downtown. So watch out for that if you're on I-10 heading westbound, our usual trouble spot this time of day. We'll keep an eye on things throughout the evening. Steve and Ursula.
Thank you, Sam. As the U.S. continues to withdraw forces from Afghanistan, President Joe Biden facing more scrutiny. What he says about his decision and what the U.S. is working to accomplish in the weeks ahead.
Efforts to get tens of thousands of people out of Afghanistan continue, but the U.S. and President Biden are being scrutinized about what's gone on so far.
This as the Taliban continues to terrorize the country. Isabel Rosales is in Washington and has the latest.
Defiant Afghans taking to the streets Thursday to mark the nation's 1919 Independence Day from British colonial rule. As the Taliban moves to crush opposition across the country, chaos outside the Hamid Karzai International Airport. Desperation growing among thousands of Afghans attempting to flee the increasingly dire situation. The U.S. and allies racing to evacuate tens of thousands of citizens and Afghan partners.
Why have the American soldiers forgotten about us after everything we did? The sacrifices we made. Why are we leaving us behind?
So far, the Pentagon says the U.S. has evacuated at least 7,000 people this week and is ramping up efforts to get more to safety.
We intend to maximize each plane's capacity. We're prioritizing people above all else.
But President Joe Biden is under mounting scrutiny for the chaotic withdrawal of troops.
We owed a better plan to our men and women in uniforms. We owed all of them a better plan and our Afghan partners than this plan right now.
The president defending his decisions in an interview with ABC News.
There is no good time to leave Afghanistan. The basic choice is, am I going to send your sons and your daughters to war in Afghanistan in perpetuity?
In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Got a little rain overnight and wondering if we're going to get any tonight.
No.
Nah.
Yeah, she answered that one quick.
Nope.
Well, now there's a definitive answer for you.
I don't want folks to speculate because it is so hot. Rain would be great right about this time of day, but no rain in the forecast this evening. And it's also going to be minimal for about the next week or so. Today's almanac, we do have our preliminary high temperature. This was as of 4 p.m. Weather Service is doing their quality control checks of their data. We'll get another update here probably at the bottom of the hour, but we at least got up to 98 this afternoon. If you're keeping score at home, we also got up to 98 yesterday, and 98 is the hottest we have been at the airport so far this summer. So check back in with us at 6 o'clock and I'll have the final official high temperature for the day. We'll have to see if maybe we snuck up to 99. I'm keeping us in the upper 90s all the way through the upcoming weekend into early next week. Rain is going to be extremely scarce, if not non-existent, over the next several days. In fact, I'm not even going to toss back in a low-end chance of rain. I'm talking a 10% chance until about Tuesday of next week, where we could start to see a few more of those afternoon coastal showers, mainly east of 35. Otherwise, the heat and humidity taking firm control here over the next few days. Air temperatures in white, heat index, or what it feels like, that's the number in yellow. So feeling like 107 in Pleasanton, feeling like 112 in Del Rio. The reason these heat indices are so high is because our dew points are so high. A lot of times in the summer, especially if we've got a big, strong ridge of high pressure overhead, we can get dry air to mix down a little bit in the afternoon, and that will take these dew point numbers into the mid to upper 60s. That's not a whole lot of relief, but that can really help us out with the heat index. That's not been the case this summer. It's certainly not the case this afternoon. So because our heat index readings are staying so high, we're keeping our heat indices high as well. And part of the reason why we haven't seen that dry air mix down in the afternoons is because the heat high really hasn't been around, and that's evident in our rainfall so far this summer, approaching 7 3/4 of an inch of rain at the airport. That's nearly an inch above average. So that is good news. And that big dominant heat high is not going to pay us a visit anytime soon. Its kind of slightly weaker, younger cousin is going to pay us a visit over the weekend into early next week. So this will be an area of upper level high pressure that will help to suppress rain chances. And we may see a little dry air mix in at times this weekend in the afternoons, but it's not going to be enough to really help to take the edge off of the heat index. So feels like temperatures are going to stay several degrees above 100 during the hottest part of the day all the way through the weekend. And our rain chances will be minimal. So quiet weather here at home, but I do want to update you on what's going on in the tropics. Hurricane Grace, now a tropical storm, made landfall this morning over the Yucatan Peninsula. It's going to reemerge into the Bay of Campeche tomorrow, could re-strengthen to Category 1 hurricane status by tomorrow afternoon, and then another landfall is expected there as we get into late tomorrow and the start of the weekend. Still no impacts to our forecast. We've also got tropical storm ahn-REE. Note the pronunciation there. It's starting to make a turn off to the north and is expected to approach New England. There's Boston, Massachusetts right there. Expected to approach New England as a Category 1 hurricane by the end of the weekend. So that will be something that part of the country is dealing with. Again, here at home, quiet summertime weather for us, but it'll be staying hot out there. This evening, hot and muggy, but also breezy. The breeze that settled in this afternoon will hang out with us all evening long, and it'll be around again tomorrow. South-southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, but another hot day, high of 98 with elevated heat indices all the way through the upcoming weekend, guys.
Whew.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hot. Thank you.
Elevated heat indices.
That's a nice way of saying really, really hot.
Really hot. All right, there's a quarterback at Southside who's getting some good publicity.
Yeah, you're excited about this.
I am excited about it.
Yes, Richard Torres, one of the absolute best quarterbacks in the state of Texas. He is leading Southside football this season, who play in District 14, 5A D1. We are previewing them today. Plus, UTSA AD Dr. Lisa Campos got some great news today. Coming up.
I mean, obviously, I hold myself to a higher standard because of, you know, the exposure I have in the media. But, I mean, these guys don't see me no different, and it's all just love around here.
Quarterback Richard Torres is the face of Southside football, but you would never know it by how humble he is in big board sports. The Southside Cardinals are now 1 week away from helping to kick off week 1 of the high school football season. Led by quarterback and Nebraska commit Richard Torres, the Cardinals are predicted to win District 14 5A D1 by Dave Campbell's Texas Football. The Cardinals have 11 starters returning, 5 on offense, 6 on defense now. Make sure to keep an eye on defensive tackle Cody Wilkerson and linebacker Matthew Castaneda, part of a unit that allowed 11.5 points per game last season. Now, Southside went 9-2 overall last season, but only played 7 games because 4 were canceled due to COVID-19. They lost in the second round of the playoffs, which serves as motivation.
It was disappointing because we didn't go to the 3rd round playoffs, but I hope we go to the 4th, 5th round playoffs this year.
My expectations, you know, just to win another district title for us. That's the first thing off of our mind. Another thing would be probably to make it to some type of 3rd, 4th round. You know, school's never been. And then another goal of mine, you know, and hopefully some of the teammates, is just to be the most winningest class in Southside history. So those are my goals.
You know, we're fortunate to have some good football players. You know, Richard Torres and Cody Wilkerson have been all district guys for a long time, and players, you know, that have excelled on the field, and both of them excel in the classroom, so that's even better. So, you know, we got a lot of other kids that have done the same thing, and I feel like, you know, we're getting better every day. That's all we can do at this point.
Southside kicks off the season next Thursday at home with Brownsville Lopez at 7 p.m. UTSA Athletics Director Dr. Lisa Campos received a contract extension through November 2026. During her nearly 4 years at the helm of UTSA Athletics, Campos has been instrumental in developing and implementing a strategic plan built on a culture of excellence for student athletes. She was also a driving force in the development of the new state-of-the-art Roadrunner Athletics Center of Excellence, aka RACE, which opened this month. The contract extension was approved by the University of Texas System Board of Regents.
She's doing a good job there.
Doing a great job, right?
Yeah. Good to see her rewarded.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Highs upper 90s all the way through the upcoming weekend. Our heat index will be generally 102 plus for the next several afternoons as well. So stay cool and hydrated out there. Low rain chances kick in by about Tuesday next week. Guys, sorry, kick the trash can.
That's okay, Katie.
Well, you're so mad about the heat.
I'm mad about the heat,
I mean,
too.
she kicked the trash can, yeah.
Stay cool, y'all.
See you
Thanks
at
for
6.
watching.